definitely sounds like there are some complex layers to how we take a look at
Mhm.
trauma. So,
Mhm.
as a lay person, if I'm thinking about everything that I'm experiencing when it comes to COVID-19 or the
Mhm.
pandemic,
Mhm.
it sounds like what you're saying. It sounds like what you're saying is it's about the perspective. But once I identify, this is the root of my trauma, or
Mhm.
this is what's triggering for my trauma,
Right.
then what do I do? What do I do with that information?
Well, a part of that information, and I want to just take a step back because I think
Sure.
I think we're tapping into the really good issue of intergenerational trauma
Okay.
and how it layers to impact us.
Okay.
So, one of the things about intergenerational trauma is how we address it. First of all, is it something we're witnessing, like something that's not necessarily happening to us, but we're watching it happen to other people? That
Sure.
can impact us, even if you're not the one that, for example, is being abused or being attacked. You're still the one who is seeing it. So identifying it
Okay.
is the first layer of
Okay.
being able to understand it. Because a lot of people in intergenerational trauma don't know they're in intergenerational trauma. Because some people think it's cultural.
Mhm.
Like I beat my child, and that's because that's just what we do.
Well, that's what we do. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right,
for
but
sure.
it's not really that. And so, one way to identify trauma is to take an ACE test,
Mhm.
which is a survey for
Okay.
anyone 18 and older. And
Okay.
it's 10 questions, and you can even download one from the internet,
Okay.
where it's the Adverse Childhood Experiences Test.
Okay.
And what that does is it identifies 10 questions. It has 10 questions there, and you're able to answer whether you're impacted by that or not. And then
Okay.
at the end, it gives you a score. What I tend to do, sometimes I even do the ACEs in my presentations, but I always have people breathe in between because you're bringing up those traumatic experiences when it's happening. Now, the
Right.
other thing that you want to do if it's intergenerational, you want to confront it. I mean, if
Right.
you've identified it, you're able to name what those experiences are, then you should be able to confront those experiences. And one of the ways of confronting the experience is to be able to ask what happened.
Mhm.
Why did it happen?
Sure.
What happened? Why did I act as I did at the time? Some
Mhm.
people blame themselves for being abused, and it's not their fault at all. Why
Yeah.
have I acted as I have since then? And
Mhm.
and why can't I let it go? What if it happens again? So these are questions of confronting questions, or what I call carefrontation questions.
Mhm.
They're asked in a loving way so that you're not beating yourself up. So you're not saying, why did I let that happen? You're not saying that. You're just
Yeah.
trying to get more information about yourself and the experience. And then the other thing is understanding it. Even though you may confront it and you pictured, you were able to choose it from an ACEs survey, it still
Mhm.
doesn't mean it has meaning for you.
Mm.
So one of the things you want to do is you want to do some meaning making steps. So
Okay.
learning about trauma from people who have more wisdom in that concept than you do is an important step to take. It's one thing to
Sure.
read and explore because that gives you theory,
Yeah.
but it's theory and practice that gives you praxis. And that's the
Mm.
applicable knowledge that we need to be able to have something stay with us and and
Okay.
and live with us. So spending time with the elders in your community who have gone through trauma and they came
Yes.
out great on the other side and could give a
Yeah.
testimony about it.
Yeah.
Support groups, healing collectives are good. Just a group of friends that are healing for you. Mental health professionals, family life, recovery coaches. There are many different layers we can use to understand it. And then another piece to that is releasing it, the pain of it. And when
Mhm.
I say release, I'm not talking about a denial. I'm talking more about an assigned space
Okay.
for the pain. Okay, so
Okay.
that it's not taking over you, so
Mhm.
that you're kind of toning down the inner critic. And we all
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
one. And
Absolutely.
listening, because the outer critic, like for example, if somebody attacks you as a Black woman,
Mhm.
verbally, talks negative about your appearance or your whatever. And then
Mhm.
you internalize that as
Mhm.
oppression. And then it becomes a part of your body, it becomes a part of your brain. So you need something to help you release that. And in the release
Sure.
process, you could use prayer, you can use meditation, you can use stillness, which gives you an opportunity to sit and listen to yourself.
Yeah.
Silence, solitude, connecting with your community, family, kinship bonds. Also journaling. Some people don't like to write, so I say
Mm.
tape yourself, or
Hmm.
talk into a tape recorder or a speaking device, or just jot down a sentence or a word that day that can demonstrate where you were or how you
Yeah.
felt. Just simple as that. And then the last thing, know your hubs, because that's a crucial part. And then the very last piece of that is transcending it. When you get healed, you just don't sit on your healing. Like,
Right. Right.
I'm
Right.
sitting here at home all healed and everything. How about you? No, you need to contribute to the community. So you want to ask, what is my purpose now? Now that I'm
Okay.
healed, why am I here? What's the
Yeah.
legacy that I'm going to leave? And how am I going to impact my community through my healing? And how does resilience look in my community? And then what needs to be regenerated? Because we start a lot of things and stop a lot of things, but what can be picked up again and moved forward? Maybe you're great with numbers and your role can just be data collection, which is something we don't do a lot,
Right. Right.
right? So those are pieces that can help us to shift intergenerational trauma.